Thank you so much for being here. Get this off my head. So the group that you saw in front of you is Council Oak Bells. They are one of the many groups that we have here. So welcome to Pop's first Pop's concert we have had in 3 years. 2019 was the last one that we had here in person. So this is exciting. This is something new. So Council Oak Bells is one of the groups that we have tonight. We will also hear from Jubilation. We will also hear from our 3 youngest groups, the Bronze, the Tins, and the Coppers. They're all here tonight, and it's going to be quite an event for you tonight. So, as seen on TV, everything that you are going to hear tonight is somehow recognizable. Now, I was kind of, I stretched the TV theme just a little bit. I can't necessarily name a specific TV show that every one of these are from, but that's okay. Some of these you're going to recognize from could be anything. Could be commercials, could be radio, could be all kinds of different things. But hopefully we have a fun and exciting night for you tonight. And if you come to Bell concerts, you know that me talking is stalling to make sure that they are all set. So I think that we are good. The next piece that is up on the program is not from something recognizable. This is one that I wrote, and it was one that I just felt like it would translate pretty well for the group that we have here. We have a gorgeous Beltry player. It's my wife. We have Shelly on Beltry, and we knew particularly with having a new baby that she was going to be out, so I had to get really creative with her spot to figure out how can I involve her with the rest of the group. So we have a Beltry plus the rest of the choir, and this is Soaring.
With the enhanced features of this luxury automobile. Living in solitude for the entirety of their lifespan.
Wow, they were really good. I think they can ring. Welcome back to our show. It has been a really long time since we've been able to be here at So I Think You Can Ring. The Muppet song that we just heard is a great segue for the next groups that we have. They come from the First United Methodist Church in Round Rock, Texas, where their director is Chris Burton. Maybe you've heard of him? What do we know about these groups, Sheila?
Well, Mary Jane, these next two performances will be quite the acts to watch. First up, we have the Coppers. Now, the Coppers are an ensemble who are all in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, and they are a mixture of both seasoned veterans and energetic new ringers. Tonight, they'll be ringing a special selection from composer Jason Krug, and it's called Victory. Since it only requires 8 bells, it's a perfect match for this group, as each ringer will be responsible for 2 bells.
Well, it looks like they're ready. I can't wait to hear if they can ring. Wow, that was great. I guess they can ring. As they grow in practice, they may even outring me.
But we're not going to stop there, MJ. Up next, we have the tens. Now, the tens are all in middle school and are all experienced at bell ringing. In fact, I've heard rumors that their selection tonight has advanced musical techniques such as changing time signature changes. And they have been working on this selection all semester long. Believe me, I can tell you those time signature changes can be tricky.
Well, that sounds very exciting. What are they going to play for us? I heard backstage that somebody was saying they're pretty good.
Yes, MJ. Tonight's selection is called Laudate, and it was also composed by Jason Crew. Fun fact, Laudate is a Latin word, and it translates to praise. This arrangement features 12 bells from F to C, and is also a great choice because each ringer will be responsible for 2 bells.
Well, what an exciting night for Handbell Ringers. Let's hear what they have for us.
Are you tired of dull-looking bells? Does your current bell polish leave your bells smudged no matter how long you clean them? Do you feel too cowardly to show your bells in public? Do you wonder if you had a heart that you would be able to get your bells looking shiny? Or maybe if you only had a brain, you would be able to find a solution? Solve all your problems with the power of Bell Clean. Our patented bell polish formula will make all of your rival bell choirs green with envy. Simply apply a dab of Bell Clean to your polished cloth, and then you're going to rub it all over your dingy bell. Then simply let it sit for the time it takes to say, "There's no polish like Bell Clean. There's no polish like Bell Clean. There's no polish like Bell Clean." Then you just wipe off the extra polish and voila, a beautiful shining bell. Let's see that again. You simply put a dab of Bell Clean onto your polish cloth, apply it to your bell, and then we let it sit for the time it takes to say, there's no polish like Bell Clean. There's no polish like Bell Clean. There's no polish like... Wait, pay no attention to the man under the bell table. Just remember to use the great and powerful Bell Clean for all your bell polishing needs. Order now and receive one case for $19.99 and one extra case absolutely free. That's 2 cases for only $19.99. Shipping and handling not included. Call the number at the bottom of your screen and order Bell Clean today. Man under the bell table polisher sold separately. Product not sold in stores.
scratch-resistant durable lenses that reduce... What I love about this outfit is its versatility. It can...
While we wait for the ruling on the field, let's take a look at the halftime stats.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Bell Ringer? I'm your host, Geraldine Bellworthy, and I'm coming at you tonight with two lovely contestants. Why don't you introduce yourself here?
Hello, I'm Grayson,
Hi, Grayson, and how old are you?
14,
And how long have you been ringing bells?
about 6 years.
6 years. Okay, so you're pretty experienced then, yeah?
I'd say I'm moderate at best.
Humble. Don't we love that audience? Let's give them a round of applause. And what's your name?
My name is Dottie Daisy Confundus.
Dottie Daisy Confundus. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Dottie Daisy Confundus.
You don't need to do that, Dottie. And I believe we had an audience member that was tapped ahead of time, quite possibly. Why don't you come up here and join us? Let's give him a round of applause. Everybody loves a volunteer, right? And what's your name, sir?
John Johansson.
John Johansson. And have you ever rung bells before?
I have not had the pleasure.
Oh my goodness. We've got a newbie. Let's give it up. Okay, so the way this is gonna work is I've got some questions for you. They're in 3 easy categories. You might have heard of them before, okay? Geography, science, and art. Quite simple, right? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you these questions. You get to pick our first category.
Let's go with art.
Art, awesome, okay. So, here we go. Would help if I had my cards in the right order, right? Okay, so some directors use a secondary instrument to add texture and color to their arrangements. This instrument is essentially a tuning fork with a clapper. What is the name of this instrument?
Ooh, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Yes, Dottie.
It's a spatula.
Very close. Very, very close. Grayson?
Hand chimes.
Hand chimes. What do you think, John?
That's what I was going to say.
Hand chimes? Let's give it up for John and Grayson. They got it right. Okay, so we're going to go on to our next category of science. So, what are the bell castings of handbells made of?
I know this one. Snips and snails and puppy dog tails.
Again, Dottie, so close. So close.
Did she not say what are boys made of?
I think she said what are bells made of.
I don't know.
That must have been the confusion. Luckily, spelling was not this category. How about you, John?
Oh, boy. I'm going to guess copper, tin, and bronze.
Help us out here, Grayson.
It's a bronze alloy.
A bronze alloy made of?
80% copper and 20% tin. You were very close.
Very, very close. Very, very, very close. Okay, and our last category, geography. So, there are 2 bell makers in the United States, Malmark and Schulmerich. They are located just 24 miles apart in what U.S. state?
I swear I know this one.
Okay, Dottie.
It's a solid state.
That is technically true. What do you think, John?
Minnesota?
Minnesota's a good guess. Minnesota's a good guess. Help us out here, Grayson.
While Minnesota might be a fine state, it is the lovely state of Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That is correct. And as a bonus, Grayson, help us out. Which one do we use here?
We use Malmark bells.
That is correct. So, Grayson, you are now the lovely winner of a number 2 screwdriver for winning tonight. And let's thank our lovely audience member as well. You can have a seat, sir. And Grayson, can you help us out here? What are you going to be using your number 2 screwdriver for?
Well, that's a hard question, but I think there's some new furniture that needs to be put together.
Some new furniture. So you heard it here from Grayson. Next week on Are You Smarter Than a Bell Ringer, he'll be teaching all of us how to build a dresser.
When did I agree
Come
to
on
that?
back, and we will be loving that tutorial from Grayson.
Are you enjoying Pops so far? We are so glad that you're here. You know, I love Pops and I love handbells. I've said ever since I came in contact with the handbell ministry here that one thing for sure, it is the best example in the church of the body of Christ, in that it takes every last ringer to make it happen. So if one of them doesn't show up and Chris waves his arms like crazy, it still ain't happening, because it takes all the ringers. You know, handbells are about participating together and making great music. They're about being in community and care for each other. It's also about a whole lot of fun. But another thing that in each of our feature presentations of Ring Noel, and then also our Pops concert, mission is at the very center of that. And certainly we have two community-changing, life-changing missions we want to lift up to you today. So our student ministries director came back from a trip to San Antonio with our students, and she says, there is this amazing ministry that we got to be a part of, and I just wonder if we could do it here. And that was Sleep in Heavenly Peace and the building of the beds. And that's now become such a part of who we are at First Church. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today the president of the, he's I guess a co-president of the Austin chapter of Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Stacy Gilda. If you'd come up here, I think. Now, Stacy, is it true this is your birthday?
Well, not today, but in a couple of days, my daughter wants to celebrate it tonight, so we're going to go out tonight.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
Well, you know, I'm new to Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and I was actually a volunteer at the last build you guys had here, and it was amazing. It just, I was captivated completely. But in 2018, this thing's got to start in Idaho, and in just a few short years, there's 313 chapters across the United States. I mean, that's pretty fast for any charitable organization, would you say? I mean, that's pretty fast. And the guy was just like, no kid sleeps in our town, on the floor in our town. And it has just taken off. So you guys have done an amazing, the first build you guys had was amazing. How many people were here for that bed? Anybody build in that bed? There you go. That was awesome. How many people here actually have done on a delivery for these beds? There you go. If you haven't done a delivery, that will change your world. What comes to mind, and it's funny that we're up here with instruments because, you know, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace is struck with me today when I was on my way here, and I'm going, we got the bells up here, and being an instrument in any way God can is amazing. But to be here on the build on the 21st, it's slated for nearly 70 beds probably by the time we're there. We're going to build 70 beds in about 3, maybe 4 hours. Can you imagine? That's a lot of beds. But they all have to be delivered as well. So if you are interested in getting involved, please step up. There's a lot of kids sleeping on the floor. I never could imagine how many kids are sleeping on the floor. It's amazing. When you go deliver these beds, it will change your world. And I thank every single one of you. Anybody that's stepped up already and are planning on stepping up, please do. You can call the number up here. You can get involved. You can get over here. Raise your hand over here. Who's in charge of there you go. There you go. Go be with a young lady right there, and she will sign you up. What's that? Oh, all right. Anyway, guys, my name is Stacy. My brother, Steve, is the co-president. We both caught fire with this over the last 12 months, and we just had to get involved. And I hope you guys do the same. Thank you very much for having me. You guys are wonderful, and this is impressive, by the way. I'm very impressed. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. We hope that you came here with very generous hearts because this is about mission and changing people's lives. So the chance to offer your very best gift. So we invite you, there are baskets in the back if you would prefer to give by cash or check. If you would prefer to give online, you can go to our website at FUMC-RR.org and hit the giving tab, and then you just designate it for POPs. Or you can go to 44321 and then text POPs. I just did that, and it wasn't any problem at all, and was able to make a gift. So I invite you to make your very best gift, knowing that it will be supporting 2 different missions. You have just heard the first one in Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Now it's back to Pops, and I can't wait for what's next.
little bit of elbow grease and just a... Plating must be right to impress the judges at this.
Adventure awaits on the open road.
The handbell world stands on the brink of destruction. None will escape it. We must unite, or all will fall.
Each ringer is bound to this fate. It no matter even is a thing if you ring Malmark or Schulmerich. Even Whitechapel and Pettit Fritzen cannot escape it.
Our quest is to find the one bell to rule them all. Without it, handbells will slip into obscurity. Who will go? Who will go on this quest to find the one handbell that will unite all others in musical harmony?
I will go even though I don't know the way. You have my B flat 5.
And my G4.
And my baton.
Let us quest.
We will be known as the Fellowship of the Ringers.
All right, finding the bell. No.
Wait, I think I might have it. Hang on.
Oh.
Let's see.
Maybe?
Okay, how about this one?
No. Take it away. Not it. Oh, no. Not that. Close. Not quite it.
Oh, will we find it?
Wait. I think I found it. I think I found the one true bell to rule them all.
Oh, yes.
Right here. There. Under the stand. Those. Take them. We didn't take E flat 4.
The quest continues. For the one true chime.
Technical difficulties.
Well, we found it. Success.
We found the one true time was hidden in the shadows of Mordor.
Oops.
Been waiting all season for this matchup, and the day is here when we finally see who will take home the trophy to. As he swims off in search of his mother.
You could just see the movies while they're playing it. It was wonderful. You know, what a joy it is to celebrate in the ministry of handbells, and we have just been wonderfully led in that by Chris Burton for these last 4 years. Would you join me in saying your thanks to Chris for his great ministry? So, the pandemic was tough for everybody, but it was really tough among those who were already struggling. And so we've seen it with the families that we're serving with Sleep and Heavenly Peace, but we've also seen it in families who were caught in the different systems of care by our state. We have seen the need just grow. One of the things in encouraging your generosity is we know that the need during the pandemic just magnified. And so we've been trying to be the people of God, responding as best we know how to that. And so another ministry that we are supporting today, that is one that we have been pleased as First United Methodist Church to be in partnership with, is Table of Grace. And Table of Grace comes to our most vulnerable of children and students and offers love and care in a powerful and life-changing way that makes a difference forever. At this time, I want to call on Marla Johnson. Where are you at, Marla? There you are. Thank you. We are so glad to have you here and sharing with us. Tell us about Table of Grace.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm the Director of Operations at Central Texas Table of Grace, and it started back in 2015 by a lady named Stacy Johnson, who's no relation of mine, but she was a foster kid herself, and she was spoken to by a counselor who planted a seed in her brain that, you know what, she doesn't have to be a statistic. And she was very successful in careers in sales, and she was able to pull herself up out of those statistics, but she got to a point where she said, you know what about everybody else? Not everyone else has had those seeds planted, and so I would like to plant some seeds for these children who went through a lot of what I did in foster care. So she opened Table of Grace here in Round Rock, and since then we've seen over 400 children come through our doors. And they come from all over the state of Texas. And they're with us for about 90 days, usually more. It is an emergency shelter, which means they're trying to find other placements. I was speaking to a volunteer the other day who said, I wish we could have them a little bit longer and develop relationships. But I reminded her that planting these seeds really does make a huge impact. And we've seen that as some of the kids have graduated from foster care. They then turn 18 and they don't have any place to go. They're officially no longer the ward of the state. And so we started a program called Grace 365 last year. So it is for young adults who have aged out of foster care. We're working on life skills and independent living. And some of the kids in our program have actually been in our shelter, and they remind us of the seeds that we've planted. And recently we purchased a property in Round Rock off of Red Bud, and we are looking forward to building a micro-community for our young adults and a new custom shelter so that we can help even more children and more young adults become the bright shining stars that God intended them to be. So thank you for having me, and thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us.
Thank you. So when I went online, it had the 44321, and I did the pops, and then it popped up with suggested levels of giving. And so I thought, well, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. And I kind of had to follow my heart a little bit about what I would give. I invite you to also follow your heart about what you will give, so that these students know they've got someone walking alongside them, so that these families that are struggling, their kids have a place to sleep. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for being the people of God, offering your best in the name of Christ. Would you pray with me? Dear Lord, I thank you for your love and your grace that frees us to enjoy music like this that comes from deep within. But thank you that that love also works from the inside out and touches people forever. Bless us in our giving as we follow the greatest giver of all, you. In the name of Christ, amen.
now we're going to welcome you to the Old Time Radio Hour. Bringing up to the stage, we have Cassie that I would like you to welcome. She is going to be our sound technician for the night. And we are going to bring to life a story. This is a true story, completely true, not made up at all. It's very important. So, Cassie, why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell us, what do you do for a living? So you make noise for a living. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. You're feeling good today? I mean, you're having a good day. Cool, all right. Got a wise guy, apparently. All right, fine. Square root of 9. All right, fine. Square root of 9 is all right, fine. Okay, well then, let's jump into it. So, we are going to tell you a little story. We're going to narrate it just like it might have been in old radio times, and away we go. So, as you all know, Quasimodo famously rang the bells in Paris. Now, after he passed away, that left a giant hole in that field, and the bishop just did not know how he was going to fill that spot. You know, so he was very worried, and he felt like he had to go through and do the interviews of the new bell ringers himself. I mean, the bishop had to handle it. So he got candidates lined up, and he brings the first candidate in. So the first candidate arrives, and he knocks on the door. Now, this candidate was far advanced in age, had to be over 90, and so the bishop was a little bit worried, but he went ahead and invited him in. So he went up the stairs to the belfry, and then the bishop asked him to ring the bells. So when he rang the bells, because of his advanced age, it sounded like every joint in his body was popping. And so the bishop just felt like that would just be too distracting for the parishioners, so he was dismissed. He left downstairs. So the second candidate arrives. And the second candidate, let's just say, had been to the local pub before arriving for his interview. Not a good idea, so he came up the stairs, stumbling, a few stairs at a time. He finally made it to the top. And when the bishop asked him to ring the bells, he was just cackling in laughter. He just could not hold it together. So, unfortunately, he was sent on his way. Finally, the third candidate arrived. Oh, that's right. There's an important detail here. The third candidate had no arms. Okay. So third candidate had no arms. Obviously, he could not knock. And so the bishop invited him up, and he came up the stairs. And so the bishop looked at him, man with no arms, says, "How on earth are you going to ring bells?" Says, "All right, allow me to demonstrate." So straight away, he runs at the bells and slams them with his forehead, smashing his face all over the bells. And the bishop was just so taken aback as he continued to bash the bells that he was caught completely unawares when the man missed the bell, ran through the window, and fell to the street below. Well, obviously, this is a big happening in the city of Paris, so a crowd gathers, and of course, the police show up, and the bishop says, "Okay, I need to go address this." So he goes downstairs, and the police approach him and says, "What happened? Do you know this man? Like, who is this?" And the bishop says, "Well, I don't know his name, but his face rings a bell." Oh, you think the story's over? The story is not over. Like I said, this is very true. Very, very true. So the next day, another man arrives about the bell position. And he's clearly in a state of grief. And he approaches the bishop and he says that he's the brother of the man who had recently passed away during his interview. So he says that he told the bishop that he felt like it was his duty, his family duty, to apply for the bell ringer position and take over for his brother. So So the bishop says, well, all right, sure, why not? I do need a bell ringer, so let's figure this out. So they went together up to the belfry. And when he rang the bells, it was the most melodious sound you had ever heard. And the bishop, in his excitement, just shouted over and over, "You're hired, you're hired, you're hired." And the man was so excited that he clutched his chest and fell over. He also passed away. Needless to say, the police were getting a bit suspicious about this bishop. So the police come up and said, "All right, bishop, what's going on here? You know this guy? You didn't know the last guy. You know this guy." And the bishop says, Unfortunately, I don't know his name either, but he's a dead ringer for his brother." All right.
Get off the stage.
That is all I got. I'm not a stand-up comedian, so that is where we'll end. So, we do have one more song for you, but I want to highlight while we're here that, and this comes up, a question comes up to me all the time about how POPs works, that it is a benefit, it is a fundraiser for other organizations. The question always comes up like, well, okay, so that's cool, but you fundraise for the bells, so how do I donate to the bells? Well, you don't. What? That's really weird. We don't. We don't take any of the money from this event. It's not like we take our overhead first and then the little bit that's left over goes to another organization. No. Everything that you donate goes straight to those organizations. We don't take any of that for ourselves. And I just want to say that because we have 2 charities this year. It's a little bit different, but we have 2 charities that we are supporting. And I would encourage you to dig deep and help us to support those organizations. We do not take a cut. The cut does not go to the church. It goes straight to those organizations, and we are going to be splitting it between these 2 charities. So we have one last song, and while that last song is playing, do please consider giving and giving well to these organizations. All right. Last song that we have is The Typewriter, Leroy Anderson, and we have Cassie, who's going to be joining us on The Typewriter. So please enjoy. if you would please join me in thanking all of the ringers that were with. If you rang tonight, please take a stand, and I want to welcome all of you. Thank you so much. Didn't they do great? They're good. They're good ringers. All right. Thank you. That is our concert for tonight. Hi.
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 It's not over yet. Okay. So, for those of you who may not know, this is Chris and Shelly's last concert here with us at FUMC Bells. So we wanted to give y'all a little going away gift as a thank you and a goodbye. I was voluntold, make that clear, voluntold to do this last night by Celinda, who's bringing over some flowers. That I'm giving this speech, but she was hesitant because, one, I am not known for being succinct. So I'll do my best to be succinct, but I'm also not sure I'm the best person because if you spent 1 minute in rehearsal with me and Chris and Shelly, you know that my job is to harass Chris and Shelly during rehearsal. In fact, in another choir that I rang in with them, I joined them for a recording rehearsal one night, and the director had separated Chris and Shelly because he's like, oh, a couple. I can't put the couple next to each other, but he put me next to Shelly, and I don't know if I was next to you ever or not, but anyways, I was definitely next to Shelly.
Definitely you two.
And the director was like, I thought I needed to keep the couple apart, but I did not know I needed to keep this random guy and this other person apart because I'm very too distracting. And also, Chris never lets me read to Shelly ever again because we just end up arguing about who gets to play more bells.
I put them on opposite ends of the table.
All the time. It's the worst thing in the world. That's how bad it was. She couldn't even ring with us in the spring. Anyhoozle. So Chris and Shelly, we know that you guys are moving on to bigger and better things, and we are very excited for whatever the future holds for both of y'all. And we are all so grateful for everything that both of you have done for the Bell program here. And we are also very sad to see you go. Chris, you took over this organization after the founding director and the founder of the organization retired, and that is no small task to fill the founder's shoes. But you filled those big shoes very, very well, and you not only continued to help the Bell program grow, but you also navigated through one of the most difficult periods in modern history, hashtag COVID-19, finding out ways for us to continue to ring safely during the pandemic when, please know that most other choirs completely shut down. We were one of the few in the country that were still able to continue ringing because of this man right here. And you also there's some applause. Yeah, I mean, this is a very contact-heavy instrument. You cannot ring, it's hard to ring safely bells when you can't be together. And finding new and creative things to do for us during that time period with cool drone shots that sometimes cause music to fly across the whole room and other dangerous drone flying experiences involving ducking and hiding. It was a very big hazard, and I'm surprised we all have our heads still. However, I do not hesitate to say that you are definitely the reason that the Bell program survived that time period. And Shelly, we want to thank you as well for all you did to help and support this man. If you didn't know, last night I gave him this thing called chill pills. They were really Mike and Ike's. And they were gone before the ending of the rehearsal last night. So he needs the support, and she's great at it. And so I don't know if you've ever spent more than 5 minutes with their child, James. He is a handful. My birthday gift for James is a helmet, because that child could get a head injury in a room full of pillows. 2 concussions to date. He's 4 years old. Not even 4 yet. I was trying to say.
I'm trying.
Okay.
You need the helmet, Austin.
I know you need the helmet. Anyways, so thank you for all you did to help support Chris in this crazy time period of trying to keep bells going during COVID and keeping a somewhat stable, sane home life going for him. And I know that he told me there are nights where he was so busy doing things that he sometimes didn't see you. He left at 7 and he got home at 9 p.m. So thank you for everything you did to help support this okay person, I guess. He's okay. I guess he's okay. So I lost my spot now.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm emotional, okay? So as I mentioned, I'm working on it. Okay, I'm on the last paragraph. We know how chaotic life can be, especially with new little baby Amelia Grace Austina Burton. Yes, it is Austina. I'm making a bib for her. We wanted to give you also this gift card on our behalf. It's so you can get a little date night so you can get a little special date night away on our behalf. So we love you both very much, and we're going to miss you guys so very much as well. Yes, babysitting is included in the date night.
Okay, bye.
Well, fine.
The kids are out there.
Yeah. Minivan's out back.
Yeah, we're good.
I mean, do you really trust me with your kids?
Do you have the helmet?
Not yet.
Call me when you get the helmet.
Okay. So now it's officially the end of the concert. Sweaty arm here. Drive safe.
Folks.